What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV. Instant match reaction as Tottenham have beaten AZ Alkmaar by 1-0, keeping up the 100% record in the Europa League. And it is a small pool of us now. Only 3 teams have kept that 100% record going. That is Tottenham in second spot, Lazio in top, and Anderlecht down. I was about to say all the way down in third, but in third. But look. Look, it wasn't the greatest game of football today, was it? And particularly in the first half, you wanted more. You wanted more chances.
We definitely got more.
Exactly.
Sure.
No pun intended. No pun intended. Timo Werner looked like our biggest outlet in the first half, but he flattered to deceive. Definitely should have got a goal, and he was frustrating all of us, wasn't he?
Yeah, first half was a bit flat, albeit there were definitely moments of quality there. That Bergvall pass through to Werner that we spoke about. Obviously, Moore had a really good chance right at the beginning of the game when Werner played a beautiful cross to the back post and Moore headed it wide. And but I thought after a couple of early moments, Werner then had a chance when Richarlison played him through after winning the tackle. In the final third and played it through to Werner and he just struck it over the bar. But I thought the first half was a bit flat, it was a bit disjointed. It didn't feel like there were too many fluid attacking moves, and maybe that was the consequence of making 9 changes potentially. To be fair, I don't think RZ troubled Spurs too much in that first half. I thought they had one chance when it was a cross by, I think it was Cassius to the back post, and they couldn't make the most of it. But other than that, I thought we actually dealt with most of what RZ threw at us. Dragoshin was having a good game in that first half as well. I thought Bentancur looked a bit off in that first half. We just seemed to lack a bit of intensity as well. We had that moment, obviously, with Richarlison made the tackle, but I thought our pressing wasn't really there in that first half. More as well. We'll get on to more in the second half, but first half did struggle a bit to impact the game. Whenever he got the ball, didn't seem like he was willing to take people on, always cutting it back and not really dribbling, taking people on. The only person that first half was having a great game was Maddison, who was having an excellent game, to be honest. And his dribbling in tight spaces, his turning away from players was absolutely exceptional. And it looked like if anything magic was going to happen, it was going to come from him.
Yeah, absolutely. And it felt like he was kind of trying to do it on his own at times in that first half. Like no matter how many men they put on Maddison, he would wriggle his way out and find bits of quality and that sparkle. And when you're talking about players that had that spark in the first half, it felt like it was only him to show that sign of the spark. But yeah, I completely agree with you. As much as Spurs maybe lacked that spark throughout the 90 minutes, RZ just didn't trouble us. I mean, they had an XG of 0.41 throughout the whole game. In the first half, it was 0.14. That just shows you how resolute we actually defended for the most part. There was a few mishaps, Ben Davis giving it away, Radu Dragusin as well. I felt like Radu for the whole game defended brilliantly, don't get me wrong, but on the ball he did give away a few sloppy passes which allowed RZ to spring on us a couple of times. But look, that happens in the first half and we're all thinking, look, we need that spark. And that spark came in the second half, didn't it? Because straight away, Brennan comes on for Timo Werner. You're worried that Mikey Moore was going to come off. And Mikey Moore didn't have the strongest of game in the first half. Straight away, Maddison said it in his post-match interview just now. He was demanding the ball straight from the off, straight from the whistle blew in that second half.
So he thought we had Neymar on.
Yeah, he did, and he was playing like it. For that opening 20 minutes of the second half, he was brilliant. He was taking on his man at will. They just didn't know how to live with him in that second half. And I think everyone was waxing lyrical about his performance out in Ferencváros. This was 10 steps above. I mean, he was playing out of his skin. Like literally, every single time he tried to take a man on, I think he did it successfully. I don't think they got the ball off him once. It was just a coming of age performance, I think.
It was absolutely fantastic. It was astonishing for a 17-year-old. It wasn't just the fact of how he was able to beat players. It's how he did it, using his strength, using his speed, his balance, cutting in between 2 and 3 players on that left-hand side, getting to the byline, creating chances. That moment that's right at the beginning of the second half where he beats 3. He picks up the ball inside his own half. He then bursts past one player. He then wriggles in between 2 players. He then plays an outside of the boot, perfect pass to Brennan Johnson, who's running onto it, who probably should have done better to slot it home. Unbelievable piece of play. I mean, if that was Neymar, people would have clipped that up saying it was an incredible piece of play.
Don't worry, people will be clipping this up as well.
No, I'm not saying. I'm just saying. the standard of that move was absolutely astonishing from Mikey Moore, and to do that at 17 in a Europa League game against a decent Dutch side is just goes to show what he can provide, and it was an astonishing piece of play from him, and just gives you so much excitement about what he can do in the future. He did that a couple of times in terms of on picking the ball up on their left-hand side and just being played to fun. And you can just see the confidence was flowing through him. All of a sudden, Tottenham was just getting the ball and feeding Mikey Moore every time in those opening 20 minutes. And he was making something of it. He was making moments of magic. And unbelievable piece of play from Mikey Moore. And also, I wonder what that means for Timo Werner, what happened in this game. Because the first half, missed a few chances. He looked really down about it. He looked after he missed those few chances, he was looking at the floor. He looked like he was feeling sorry for himself. And sometimes managers go two ways with that. Sometimes they go like, put an arm around the shoulder saying, look, you'll get a chance in that second half, don't worry, keep going. Or they can say, look, at the end of the day, he's holding back the team, and we can't have that mentality of feeling sorry for yourself. This is a football team. We need players confident. And he went the other way. I kind of thought he wouldn't. I kind of thought maybe he put his arm around him, but he didn't. He hooked him off. And he said, look, I'm going to put Mikey there, going to get Brennan on. And first of all, help the team. But I wonder if maybe that's the end of Timo.
And it would have been very easy for Ange to take off Mikey Moore at halftime there, because Mikey wasn't having a great game in the first half. And it would have been he just wasn't getting himself involved, Mikey Moore, in the first half. And it would have been, at least Timo, he was actually getting himself involved for the most part. And he was probably our most dangerous outlet in the first half. But you can't finish like every time. We know this with Timo Werner. He can get in the great positions. He can go on great runs, but there's just no substance at the end of it. And that's the most frustrating thing about Timo. And every time he missed a big chance, like you say, shoulders slumped, feeling sorry for himself, and you just can't be carrying that for a 90-minute stretch of football. And I think Ange made the 100% the right call because as you saw in the second half.
I felt bad for him after that. I mean, and look, he's a player on a lot of money, and I know he does these misses a lot, but just the way he looked after his misses, I did feel a bit bad for him. But at the end of the day, something great came out of it, because Mikey Moore was just sensational.
Maradona, Moradinho, Moraldo. Exactly. I mean, Mikey Moore, and Moore. This guy is a phenomenon. I'm telling you, I've said it time and time again. And every time he steps foot on that football pitch, he proves it. And I'm telling you, this guy should be above Timo Werner in the pecking order now.
Well, after that performance, I wouldn't be surprised if he
has
is.
to be.
Obviously, we got the penalty. What was it, on the hour mark around?
The penalty, about 53 minutes was the penalty.
Minutes.
And you know what? I thought we were going to see something ugly there for a second, because Richarlison's in Maddison's ear. He's like, let me take the penalty. He grabs the ball. Maddison's like, no, I'm the captain. I think Bentancur comes and kind of resolves the situation. Maddison takes the ball, and it looks for all to see that Maddison is going to take the penalty. And then we see him go up to Richarlison and give him the ball, which I thought was a really nice touch from Maddison, a captain. He said it in the post-match interview that he knows what it's like to be out for so long and to come back, and you just need to get that goal. And he showed leadership today, Maddison, in doing that and giving Richarlison the penalty. And I'm so happy for Richarlison that Maddison let him do that. So it was a really nice touch, wasn't it?
I'm just happy he scored as well, because if he didn't, maybe it would have been a different reaction. But obviously, calm finish from Richarlison, straight down the middle. Wasn't obviously the best game he's had in a Spurs shirt, but obviously coming back after a while, he did have that tackle which led to the Werner chance in the first half. So he had that moment, and obviously he put the penalty away, and you could see he was struggling just before he got taken off with a bit of cramp, and he was feeling it, but great for him to score in his return. And I do think it's a brilliant piece of leadership from Maddison, because I think he asserted his authority, but also, was also empathetic towards Richarlison in the end. He kind of, told Richarlison, look, I'm the penalty taker, I'm taking the penalty. But as soon as Richarlison relented, and he was like, okay, you can take it, because Richarlison shouldn't be grabbing the ball saying it's my penalty when he's not the penalty taker. That's not the right way for him to do about things. But I thought that was dealt with in the appropriate way, to be honest. And look, Maddison was well within his right to take it. So if he would have grabbed the ball and taken it, I wouldn't have held it against him. But the fact he gave it to Richarlison was a really nice touch from him. And I thought he had a brilliant game overall, to be honest. I'll probably give him a man of the match just about. But well, apart from maybe Moore, because Moore was just so good. But yeah, look, got the lead 1-0. after that, we did have a few chances to extend it. Probably Brennan had a chance. Odebear came on. He had a chance as well. A couple of chances to finish the game. RZ get a man sent off right at the end of the game as well through 2 yellows. And at the end, we pretty comfortably saw out, albeit there was a little period where RZ did have that one-on-one chance, which Forster had to save. They also had that head corner, which was in the first half, which Forster had to save as well. So big up to Forster, because a couple of big moments, he had to make some big saves, and credit to him because he stood up at those big moments.
Yeah, and everyone was, when they saw the team sheet, probably grimacing seeing Forster's name on the team sheet. But after that performance at Coventry, we haven't seen him since. But he stood up to the challenge today, and everything that came his way, I thought he dealt with a fairly good quality. There was even a moment where he plucked a cross out of the air with just one hand, just scooped it out of the air, which I thought was brilliant from him. So as much as we were worried for Fraser Forster, kept a clean sheet today.
Yeah, kept a clean sheet, and I think we defended in general pretty well. Yeah, RZ had their moments, and
Radu was on his top defensive. Every defensive action that he had to do today was top notch. Radu,
perfect.
I was
just Dragoshin man of the match.
I wouldn't put him as man of the match, because as much as he was brilliant defensively and did a massive job for the team, I was quite frustrated with what he was showing on the ball today.
Yeah, so there were some moments on the ball when he was trying to play his way out of trouble, and he just didn't seem up to it. And he obviously doesn't have the passing ability that Romero does, that's for sure. But what I would say is what I really liked about Dragoshin, he was a bit more proactive with his defending today, really a bit more on the front foot. I thought when the long balls were coming in, he was getting those headers in. He was making sure he was stepping up in that high line. So I actually thought he was a bit more proactive in his defending today.